Well, Coach, first of all, welcome to Arizona, and just want to get your thoughts about first few months being here and being at Casteel High School.
Yeah, I've loved it. I mean, not only has the weather been great, but the kids have been awesome. I feel like I'm kind of back in my element, coaching high school football, and they've really grown a ton just in 3 months. I came in and done kind of a bit of a culture change, and I got to say, man, from the kids to the boosters to the administration, everybody's really bought in, and we're all going the same direction. So I'm excited.
What was sort of the big, factor for you in making the decision to step away from college and become coach high school football?
Yeah, that's a great question. I get asked that question a lot. I mean, I enjoyed my time in college. I felt more and more every year I was getting farther and farther away from just the love of the game. And here I'm getting to do that again, getting to call the offense, don't have to recruit. Um, and just kind of getting back to my goal in life is always to try to make a positive difference in kids' lives, and I always feel like I can do that at the high school level. And so I'm enjoying every day, and it's fun to be here and see us getting better.
Talked about this kind of being a bit of a culture change for the kids. What if they told you about, maybe their prior experiences and now their experience now, and what do you kind of sum up some of those culture
Yeah,
changes
I
are?
think I think that Bobby did a lot of good things here. I think a lot of the pieces were in place. I think the big thing for us is really becoming a strong bond as a team, and really having kind of that positive vibe around everything we do. I think those are the two big things, and so we really dug into the team building. I mean, we've done a team bonding event every week, just because I felt like the kids, a lot of them didn't even know each other, and so now we're coming very close together, and I've got a great staff, and just feel like we're all going the same direction.
I know you have a couple of your college coaches on staff with
Yeah.
you here. How is that, having that connection and then building it with the players who you said you're trying to build a closer connection with?
It's huge. Both JJ and Renato. I mean, they kind of know what I expect, and a lot of the offense, we're doing the same things we did at Clackamas High School and at Lewis and Clark. So it's nice just having those guys kind of to help groom the other guys. But we kept 5 guys off the previous staff, and they're good men. I feel really blessed to have the 5 we had before, and then we brought in some really high caliber coaches from the area. A couple guys. Hamza and Jay Sean, who coached at a very high level or played at a very high level in the NFL. So we're coming together. Yeah.
What's impressed you the most about your team throughout the spring?
Just their buy-in, their work ethic, their attitude. Everything that I was kind of hoping they would embrace, they have. Our defense, we're athletic. We're not going to be the biggest team by any means, but our young DC, man, he's got them playing hard, and we're very dynamic with what we're doing. So I'm excited about that. Really excited about our offensive line too. We're not super deep, but the guys that we have are doing a great job communicating, and you know how offensive line play goes, man. They all got to work together. So they've been awesome, and we've got some skill. We got some skill too, so we might sneak up on some people.
How much has Bryce been a leader for you? And just, I know, coming in, he's been here for a long time. And what's your relationship with him been like? And just seeing him as that senior, trying to on the offensive line be a leader for everybody else.
Well, he's a fantastic kid. I love him, and his family is great. The thing that's unusual for me is usually the leaders programs I've taken over are usually perimeter guys. Very rare, I think, to have like your strongest leader in the program be an offensive lineman, and it took me about a week to figure that out, and that's a good thing, But he competes his butt off, but he really treats people well. I mean, he does things like, we have a varsity locker room and a JV locker room. He's in the JV locker room half the time, getting to know kids, shaking hands, and he's just really embraced that encourage and support that we want out of our leaders.
What do you want the culture to be here? What motto or what do you want the tone to be at Casteel High School?
Well, our big thing is pound the rock, and it's we kind of stole it from the Spurs. It's about this stone cutter who's pounding away at this rock, and it won't break, and he's a little frustrated, but he stays with it. And then finally, on the 100th pound, it shatters, and he knows that it wasn't just that pound that did it. it was all the subsequent blows, you know. So it's really a great metaphor for, you know, sometimes in life things don't come easy. You got to stay with it and you got to work at it, right? So it's that adversity response. Are you going to keep grinding and keep believing if things don't happen for you instantly? And the other one is just flat out blue collar work ethic. You know, we tell the kids, man, and I really believe this. Every success I've had in life has been because I've just worked really hard, and I've surrounded myself with guys like myself who just really embrace the grind, and that's what our coaches and our players are doing right now.
Have you had a chance to look at your guys' schedule for next season at all, or kind of gauge who some of the other teams are? Is there anything in particular looking
Yeah, I
forward to
mean,
about?
I think that from what I understand, our first 3 games, and we're going to San Diego to play Helix. We've got this Las Vegas powerhouse coming down. We've got perennial power Hamilton. So we're going into the fray immediately. But to be honest, we haven't really looked too far ahead. We've been more about us. You know, that's what we've been focused on. I mean, ball is ball, man. You got to block and you got to tackle. And so we're trying to get really good at our fundamentals and our base schemes, and then we'll start getting more opponent specific as we get into the summer.
And those two out-of-state games, was that you coming in and schedule those, or were those already scheduled?
No,
Or
no, that's the first thing I told our AD, man, is every year I want to travel. And so San Diego, what a great place to go, right?
Yeah.
So to me, when you have a travel game early, I mean, part of it is you go win the football game, but you spend all that time together, you know, and it just strengthens your bond going forward, you know, at Clackamas. We were all way up in Oregon. We went to the Bay. We went to LA. My last year we went to Hawaii. And I always have kids come back and say those were some of the funnest days they had in high school, you know, just spending that time together. So I'm looking forward to hoping to get an opening win and get to go to SeaWorld the next day.
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys are the only team in the state that has played two, out-of-state opponents in a season in a long time. What do you think that sort of element of playing so many out-of-state teams adds to just not only, like you said, the camaraderie of your team, but just sort of the skills and things they can work on at the beginning of the year?
I think playing against 2 really good teams and having to travel, especially on the road early, it tests your mettle, and we want to toughen them up. You know, the year we won the state championship at Clackamas, 2 years before we had played Grant of Sacramento, and we went down there and they were like, one of the top teams in California, and we kind of got it taken to us. But boy, I'll tell you, man, once we got into our league season, I wouldn't say things felt easy, but based on the caliber of team we played and the environment that we were in, a very hostile environment, it kind of helped us settle in as the season went on. When we played big games, we kind of knew what to expect.